For Trump, his most efficient path would be to hold on to North Carolina and then flip both Georgia and Pennsylvania. That would get him to exactly 270 electoral votes. Meanwhile, for Harris, she would hit exactly 270 as well, simply by holding on to the WIMPA states, the Blue Wall states, the Upper Rust Belt core trio, whatever you want to call them, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, plus Nebraska's 2nd congressional district, which Biden carried by almost 7 points 4 years ago. Saying all of that, though, given that this is a best-case scenario map for Donald Trump, and neither candidate truly has a better than 55 to maybe 60% chance of winning in any one of these 7 states, it's only reasonable to place all 7 in the Trump column, just as it will be in the Harris version of this video. That may seem like a cop-out or anticlimactic to some extent, but it's moments like these where we need to take a second and appreciate what is happening here.
In the Keystone State, according to the polling average, Donald Trump leads by 0.2%. And once again, is this good enough? It probably is. Hillary Clinton led by 6 points at this point, Joe Biden by 4. In the end, Joe Biden was supposed to win the Keystone State by 5 to 6%. He eventually won it by just over 1. And so yes, Biden did do well in the last election, but he ran under very favorable circumstances for the Democrats. We had a year-long pandemic before the election. The economy wasn't doing too well as a result. And even in those circumstances, Joe Biden barely won the 2020 election. If he didn't win Georgia, Wisconsin, and Arizona, 3 states, all decided by less than 0.7%, if those states had gone to Trump, Trump would have been reelected. And now against Kamala Harris doesn't have any of those favorable environmental factors that Biden did 4 years ago, and that is why she is currently on track to lose, with Pennsylvania being a tilt red state.
Now, before we get into the state margins for the rest of the key states on this map, I'm going to get into why my election model is actually indicating Trump has a 99.9% chance of victory if the election were held today. And so we're going to get into that. So first things first, if we take a look at my national model, Trump has a 2.5 point lead, and it's been steadily increasing. Trump seems to be gaining support. Hello, friends, and welcome to Gold Crown Politics. And today we'll be discussing an update to the 2024 election. If you happen to like this kind of content, make sure to hit the like button down below and subscribe for more content just like this. So we're currently 47 days out from election day, about a month and a half out. Things are heating up, the election is getting closer, and today we're going to give an update to the electoral map with my forecast. So you can see here, these are the safe states in my current projection. These are 15 plus point victories, and Trump has a 125 to 100 advantage in the electoral college. So he has a higher absolute floor currently. Now, before we get into the state margins for the rest of the key states on this map, I'm going to get into why my election model is actually indicating Trump has a 99.9% chance of victory if the election were held today. And let's take a look at my own individual margins for the key states of this election that I am projecting. So let's scroll down here and see the margins. We'll first start with some of the deep red states. So Texas, I currently have at 14.5 points for Donald Trump right now, a huge victory, and it's in the likely column, approaching safe for Trump at this point. Now, immigration and Hispanic voters will push the state to the right. I currently have it trending 2 points to the right this cycle, producing a big win in Texas. And back to our map, we can also see the state of Florida. I'm currently projecting this state at 14.5 points for Trump as well. It is in the likely Republican column. I have this state trending hard to the right this cycle by 4 points. Trump is going to see massive gains in the state, especially with Hispanic voters. Pretty much a guarantee he's going to flip Miami-Dade County at this point, and he would turn the state ruby red. And now looking at the state of Iowa, this one is just under 14 points for Trump in my election forecast, also in the likely column for Trump. And Rasmussen has been one of the most accurate national pollsters in election years, so that's why I include them. And then we have my model average of Trump plus 2.5. That's a pretty big national lead. And now I'm going to get into why that means Trump has a big advantage in this election and almost a guaranteed win if you look at it from the context of how much he's leading by nationally. And so this margin here, Trump plus 2.5, if this were to hold up, it would almost guarantee the election for Trump at that point, because if we see here, Nate Silver, who is not a very right-leaning guy, by the way, he posted the odds of victory for both candidates according to Silver Bulletin's model here. And if Trump is up by 2 to 3 points nationally, which once again is what my model is currently indicating, Trump has a 99.9% chance of victory in 2024.
Donald Trump has a 61% chance of winning the 2024 election, according to American statistician Nate Silver's political forecast. Most media from 538 to DDHQ shows Harris ahead, with even Polymarket showing that she could be leading Trump 50% to 49%. But I'm here to tell you that that just won't be the case. In this video, we're going to be filling out my prediction for the election based on current polls and historical polling errors. There's a lot of new data that show Trump could be on track to flip some Democrat strongholds.
Next up in Arizona, we have another hyper-competitive state. If Trump can win Arizona, he's probably guaranteed to win in both North Carolina and Georgia, which means that all he'll need is just one more Rust Belt state. Winning Arizona will make getting to 270 a lot easier for the former president. And according to the current polling average, Donald Trump leads by 1.3% against Kamala Harris. In fact, he has led in 4 of the last 7 polls.
Exactly does Donald Trump's best case scenario look like on the 2024 Electoral College map? Now, we are almost certainly headed for another extremely close race come November 5th. As we currently speak, Harris holds a 2-point lead nationally, that is, per Real Clear polling, and that falls into a gray area regarding an Electoral College victory. According to Nate Silver, with a national popular vote lead of D+1 to D+2, Harris would probably have about a 20% chance of winning the Electoral College, and that increases to approximately 50% with a margin of D+2 to D+3.
In 2016, Trump won every single battleground that we know today, except for Nevada. In 2020, he lost every single one of them, except for North Carolina. And this time around, he is on track already to take back at least Pennsylvania and Arizona, but he's now also on track to hold onto the Tar Heel state of North Carolina, where he leads by 0.4%. In fact, Trump has led in 6 of the last 8 polls conducted here. This is where Trump really dominates, and we're going to start off with these states where we do have polling. First off, in Missouri, where Trump leads by 12.8%. He leads by 15 in Arkansas, by 26 in Tennessee, and by 27 in West Virginia. So Missouri is going to be likely red, while Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, and South Carolina all deep red. Virginia, though, is going to be noticeably more competitive and probably the only state left for Harris on this map. She leads by 5.3% in the polling average. This isn't too terrible, but honestly, considering the fact that Joe Biden won this state by a double-digit margin in the last election, Harris's 5-point lead is not impressive at all, especially considering that this state has been shifting to the right. She really could be in trouble here. I have Virginia as among the most competitive states in the entire country.
Trump is going to see more gains with working class voters of color in the more diverse Sun Belt down here. So Arizona is currently a 7-point win for Trump right now in my forecast. Nevada is a 6.5-point likely win for Trump. Georgia is a 7-point win for Republicans this cycle, and North Carolina is over an 8-point Republican victory, a large win in the Tar Heel state. Now, I see the Sun Belt either trending neutral or to the right, depending on the state. You know, Arizona and Georgia have been trending to the left for the past few cycles, but Trump's gains with African Americans and Hispanics will kind of offset that trend. I'll also explain the exact trends with further details in another video.